All right. Do you need a drink or anything? Need a break yet?
No.
No?
What else do you want to ask me? There's more to come.
What other questions should I ask her?
You did some gliding and stuff like that, right? Texas. And
That's right.
I met some people.
Yes.
I don't know if there's anything like that.
Well, how old were we? When was it that Dad started getting into gliding?
Oh, he loved it. And we used to glide somewhere in Houston.
Yeah, outside of Houston somewhere. Near
And then
NASA, I think, somehow.
Yes, and then we moved to another airport
Okay.
because it was too dangerous. The Delta things were trying to come at us.
Okay. The big airliners were
Yes.
trying to get you. Oh my heavens! But I remember we'd be going on these long car drives out to Marfa
Yes,
and such.
that's right.
When we were little kids, and me always being very car sick,
I know. Poor thing.
and you guys giving me half a Valium to get me there. But it was like an 8 or 10 hour car trip. So.
Yes.
With a
Terrible.
glider trailer, right?
With a big long glider trailer. But do you remember how early it was that Dad got into it? Like Sean came in 65. Was it a little later on in life?
Yes.
Like late 60s, early 70s that he was
Yes.
doing
There was a
it?
picture of an astronaut. Remember that?
That's right.
That's right.
It was
John Glenn?
John Glenn.
John Glenn, but he never wants to have your picture taken.
Well, and he came out obviously to that local glider field
Yes.
near Houston once. Well, got our pictures taken with him. He lives here in Cincinnati, you know.
He does,
Mm-hmm.
but he never appears in public.
Nope, he doesn't. That's right.
Oh,
It's pretty special to have had a picture taken with him.
right.
And I remember, did we ever have a crash with one of the glider trailers?
Yes.
I remember it turning and flipping over or something like that. No?
Yes.
You remember that?
Strong wind.
Some strong
It's
wind
real
out.
long and lightweight.
It was very long. Out in West Texas, I remember.
Right.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay.
It crashed and we had a glider no more.
No
longer.
insurance. I remember it wasn't insured.
No, I know.
And I also remember Dad would go on these long, were they competitions, glider competitions, where they'd all take off from Marfa and they'd like go take pictures of something and then come back. And sometimes Dad would land in like a farmer's field or something. We'd have to go get him.
Yes.
Do you remember?
I'd have to go with this farmhand. So I'd to keep away. So I'd bring Sean with me
Mm-hmm.
in case he tried any malarkey.
You throw the baby.
Yeah, for the young child.
And put the baby between him and me.
Oh, really? So you'd go out with another man.
Yes.
And where would you leave me? With your friends, your gliding
Yes,
family?
your gliding family.
Oh, my heavens. Now, I remember there was some other families that would do the same thing. Delta pilots, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
One of them came to Dad's funeral.
Really?
Oh, what was his name?
Continental guy.
Was he a Continental guy? Anyhow.
I met him up at the car facility. Car track.
Okay. Anyhow, yeah, I can't remember these people's names now, but quite a few families that. Anyhow. All right. And then Dad eventually got into cars.
Yes.
The gliding seemed to take more of a back seat and more into the cars,
You
right?
need cough
When
medicine.
did you get to be so mean? Was that all the way through life?
You need cough medicine, love. Yes, you do.
What were you like as a kid?
Now, Mama, when did you go back to school? You went back to to get a master's in public health.
That was when I was married to Vince.
Right. I remember I was like a young teenager. I was probably like 12 or 14.
Yes, but I didn't do anything with the masters in public health.
Well,
They
you
wanted
weren't.
me to take a PhD.
Or did they?
Yes, because I had so many hours.
Ah, and you really enjoyed it. I remember you really enjoyed going to school.
Hmm.
Yeah, because it took you a couple of years, didn't it?
Yeah.
And you did it at the University of Texas School of
Yes.
Public Health there in Houston. And who was the head professor for you? Do you remember his name?
Dalton, I think.
Dalton? Okay. I don't remember his name either. I just remember there was some man with a beard. He was like your head advisor and professor and such. But, huh. And then you did, once you got your master's, didn't you go work for Shell Oil for a while?
Yes, for a whole year.
For a year. In their employee health clinic?
Yes.
Okay. Being like an employee health doctor?
Yes, which is pretty boring.
Pretty boring. And you worked out in, where was it? Baytown, or where did you work?
I worked in the Shell Oil downtown.
Downtown. Okay. And then what made you decide to stop?
So I didn't enjoy it.
Okay. All right. Because I remember being a teenager, like 14, 15, when you were at this stage. All right. Is there anything else? Any other memories you want to talk about? No?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
That time when you met that really neat son-in-law, first time, just enamored with him. I remember when it was like, I'd like to marry your daughter, and you and your husband were like,
Said no.
That's right.
that's not a good idea, you're too young or something.
That I needed to play the field more.
You need to play the field. We both needed to play the field more.
Really?
Yes.
So what we
Because we
said,
were only
yes.
24, 25,
23.
or 23. And we needed to be in our like late 30s or something. I don't know. That's the impression I got. Like,
I said, no, I'm pretty sure I know this guy. This is the guy for me. Okay.
So what did you say, Steve?
I didn't know what to say. I was just kind of. I know. I mean, that didn't ever expect that to happen. So, what do you say?
I want to play the field with your daughter.
Okay.
I remember him saying no to you because he told you it wasn't a convenient day.
No, it was more about you too young.
Really?
Yeah.
It wasn't a convenient day.
Right.
I'm not even
were
sure we
supposed to
had
be
set the
doing
date.
Oh, the day we wanted to get married?
Yes.
Yeah, that's later.
That was later.
This is just when I asked, I'd like to marry your daughter.
When he's
He said
asking
no.
permission.
He said no.
Oh, memories. And what's your favorite memory from my wedding? Oh, look at her face.
Oh, I spent the whole bloody wedding outside mopping up the... That was a terrible wedding. I never got there. I never got there.
She was there. She put on an absolutely gorgeous wedding.
There was an Iranian
That's
driver
There was
of
a
a
limo
limo.
driver. The limo driver was from Iran.
And it was during the Iranian conflict that where they had taken a bunch of people, Americans, and held them for ransom or something. So all my Navy buddies decided this guy was Iranian and they needed to harass him somehow. And they painted his car and he said something like, you need to clean my car off.
or I'm leaving.
Or I'm leaving, and they said, make me or something.
So I had to clean it up.
So I guess he came and
You-
told you he was about to leave because these ungrateful wedding party had decorated his limo.
It was you and another lady out there scrubbing. Was it
Terrible.
Barbara? Is that it?
No,
No, it
I
wasn't.
think
her.
it was the Irish lady who's dead now. Was it Mrs. Oh, she was from Ireland. She
Excuse me?
ended up moving out to the Carolinas somewhere, didn't she? Oh well, I don't remember.
Okay, anyway.
I don't remember.
I remember having lots of fun at the wedding.
Aunt Mary was there.
Yes,
She
but I never
came?
saw her.
I had requested politely that during the reception, since my family doesn't drink alcohol at all, the Southern Baptist background, we just not have any alcohol at the wedding. And Big Vince said, well, that's not going to be an option, but we'll do it so that you have to ask and they'd be brought out from someplace hidden. And by the time the photos were done, wedding party photos are done, everybody's drunk.
So we get there and everybody's drunk. What?
People are everywhere.
Falling over
And
drunk.
my aunt, who's deceased now, my aunt was sitting in the side, just watching the show quietly, just overwhelmed by all the Navy drunkards.
Yes, they were all drunk.